Good evening, everybody. It has become customary on Sunday evenings to look forward to this very eventful presentation, which started ever since our silver jubilee of OTG, which we had a few months ago. And it was the wish of our president, Dr. B.N. Vishwanath, to see that this memorable event of a silver jubilee of OTG is observed in some novel way, given the limitations that we have in the present day, that we can't come out in groups and all these things. Conventional real-time meets may not be possible, but he wanted to do something to make people know that we have been here for 25 years doing organic terrace gardening in Bangalore. And it is his vision and his inspiration and his guidance is what has propelled us to take this forward. I think we have successfully completed 14 Sundays. Am I right, Hegde sir? 14? This is the 15th one? Yeah, this is the 15th Sunday, and we have 10 more to go, where we have a session on something related to gardening. We don't just call it gardening, we call it urban foodscapes, because Dr. Vishwanath was very clear that whatever effort and limited resources you put in the garden should be for something which gives you food. Grow what you eat and eat what you grow was his motto. Though he is not physically with us here today, it is his inspiration which not only guides us in this conference, virtual conference, but also guides us in each and every one of our gardening activities, not just for us GCF members, but for all terrace gardeners who are into this. That having said, it's my pleasure to introduce to you today Dr. Gurudatt Hegde, who is a close associate and a junior colleague of our Secretary of GCF, Dr. Rajendra Hegde. To mention about him, Dr. Gurudatt Hegde is a plant pathologist and accomplished scientist at the Institute of Organic Farming in the University of Agricultural Sciences, Dharwad. He has vast experience in all research, teaching, and extension, the three basic pillars in agriculture education, and is part of many integrated disease development technologies that package of practices for better crop yields. I mentioned the word extension. I think that is the most important job of an agricultural scientist. An agricultural scientist is not enough if it's limited to the labs, but it has to reach the farm. And our Gurudatt Hegde sir is very much into extension activities also, so that what rich knowledge that is developed in these universities actually reaches the farm and the farmer. Um, He has traveled to the UK, the USA, China, Israel, Kazakhstan, etc. to share and learn on crop disease management. Dr. Hegde, when I mention Hegde now, it is Dr. Gurudatt Hegde, not Dr. Rajendra Hegde, because normally whenever I say Dr. Hegde, we assume that it is Dr. Rajendra Hegde. Now it is Dr. Gurudatt Hegde in today's session. Dr. Hegde has guided 6 postgraduate students. He has published 50 plus research papers in reputed research journals on disease management, on vegetable crops, plantation, and field crops. This apart, he has presented his work at 100 plus national and international seminars, workshops, and symposiums. So we are really happy, sir, that you are able to share your knowledge with us here today. Not only in Zoom, we the hosts, not only in Zoom, but we also have a lot of people who are looking forward to watching this live on YouTube. I place on record the excellent work and support by all the members of the GCF team and the OTG team who are here in the Zoom as in the Zoom platform. I wouldn't like to mention names, just that I would like to make a special mention of all the efforts undertaken by our secretary, Dr. Rajendra Hegde, to see that somehow an expert is fixed up. And for 15 Sundays, this event has gone uninterrupted, and I'm more than confident that with Hegde, now I mean Dr. Rajendra Hegde's vision, this will definitely complete 25, and then he will definitely think of something novel to further take this forward. That having said, I hand over the platform to Dr. Gurudatt Hegde, sir. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, is it clear, sir? My voice is clear?
Yes, sir, very clear.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for a nice introduction. And for everything, Dr. Rajendra Hegde is also an inspiration for me. Being a senior, he also guided in many steps of our education. And even we also associated in one of the NGOs. All this build up me to speak in front of you, sir. So, well, I will start my presentation now, which is on plant disease management, especially for the management of plant diseases which are sustainable for terrace in the terrace gardening. Well, as you have introduced, sir, I am Gurudatt Hegde, working as associate professor in the department of or in the Institute of Organic Farming since last 5 years. Before that, I was in Sirsi, teaching students of College of Forestry, Sirsi. Presently, I'm in Dharwad. As an academician, I do not have a direct or practical tips to give to the all the garden lovers here. But whatever the feedback I'm getting from the gardeners to whom we are giving the tips or the suggestions to manage diseases and pests, that feedback itself is a confidence for me to speak before you in today's this webinar. Last 2 weeks, it was a continuous session by Dr. Rajendra Hegde, who highlighted and explained about the different pests which are likely to occur in the terrace gardening system and its sustainable or eco-friendly management practices. And I am here to present you some of my views, practical views, and also views from the farmers and taken from elsewhere that on management of plant diseases in urban foodscapes. Yeah, so as I already told you, as an academician, we always tell this is a disease triangle, and we all know that disease is nothing but uneasiness in the plant. This is, when we split the word, this is, that is nothing but uneasiness in the plant. It comes only when sufficient pathogen is there, susceptible host is there, and favorable environment is there. We always tell to the farmers and even to the students, when all these three factors comes in a same period of time, then the disease is going to occur. For example, if the any terrace gardening crops you may take, that is chili, tomato, brinjal, or any kind of flower crops, if it is susceptible to kind of disease and enough number of pathogens are there, favoring with the favorable environment, in this case it is a microclimate, I can say more water or more stress. So if that three conditions are coincide, then only the disease is going to occur. Otherwise, it's difficult. We will not get any kind of disease. And we all know that it is having its own historic background of this nurseries, raising, kitchen garden. It's not a new concept, but it was there in the ancient period also. But over the periods, because of the urbanization, modern concepts have come, and people started going away from these kitchen gardening systems. Okay, and again, in the last 5 to 6 years, we are being looking at in urban peoples that everybody is having a kind of terrace gardening. And there are so many advantages of terrace gardening. In the last sessions also, all of you know that many advantages are there. And see, this is again organic farming. It is not only restricted to the terrace farming, but again, for eco-friendly or ecological values have been added that, and that is called as organic farming, wherein it is a production of crops and livestock without the use of any synthetic chemicals. It may be botanicals, it may be biopesticides, or it may be any indigenous knowledges that a farmer can practice. And we all know that it doesn't have a particular management strategies. It's all doing by practice, gaining your own experience and sharing it to the others. That is what is there in the terrace gardening. And see, all these ecological or organic farming, it mainly works with the principles of health. It principles of ecology, principles of fairness, and principles of care. When it comes to the principles of health, health of what? Soil, health of the crops, health of the livestock, and health of the people. It is more important. And therefore, people are more loving or showing interest towards this urban foodscaping or terrace gardening, so that at least they can get a very nutritious, a very healthy crop, which are happy on which they can happily live their life. And when it comes to the principles of ecology, it is promoting the agrobiodiversity, recycling of the waste, recycling of the soil, and maintaining the diversity. There are so many predators also come in contact with the diversity system, and that is what is called as agrobiodiversity. When it calls as ecological and social justice, yes, we have to have a our own practices. It's not always that somebody has told us, some expert has said. You can have always chance to experience your own botanicals. Say, for example, garlic, onion, garlic, chili. So you can experiment with without disturbing any very beneficial insects. So that is what the justice you are doing to the your own gardens. And finally, it comes to the productivity. Whatever the product it comes, it's only for us, and there is going to be a food security also. So some of these photographs I have taken from the OTG group itself. See how the family members are very happy and why they are doing all these things. You all know this. Just to grow a fresh, healthy vegetables, a physical exercise, time utilization, and it gives a kind of emotional bonding. When we have our own garden at the top, we will go there every day, once, twice, or thrice. Even in the holidays, we will spend time there only. Yeah, make harvesting or watering or taking care of these pests and diseases. Yeah, there are so many advantages of this terrace gardening. You can see all kinds of all ages of people, right from the kid to the very senior citizens. They are involved in such kind of terrace gardening. But despite of all this, we have to live with these pathogens and pests because they are also living entities. But we have to see that their economic threshold should not cross to cause economic loss to the crops or in turn to the terrace gardeners. That is what is our motto, how we have to manage these insect pests and diseases sustainably to harvest the sustainable crop yield. Even I am sure this COVID-19 period has given so much of exercise and interest to many of the urban people to go for this kind of urban gardening or terrace gardening experience with your own ideas and grow kinds of different types of vegetables. And the next part is, see, always I say to any farmer or the growers, see, soil is our bank like. As much as you deposit, that much you can withdraw. So that is what is the principle behind everything. It may be kitchen garden or polyhouse gardening, polyhouse culture. It may be natural vegetation or it may be terrace gardening. Always we have to see the soil. All these days we were telling that soil is degraded, it is polluted. Yeah, we have to enrich it with different kinds of organic matter. N number of organic matters are available now. It may be FIM, it may be city compost, compost, or vermicompost, but we have to see that a properly decomposed all these organic matter should be there in the soil to enrich the soil, because soil is a hub for so many nutritions and so many microbes are the habitat. They are living in the soil, and in turn they will increase the resistance of the plant system. If the plant is immune, no disease, no pest can be attacked. And I already told you this is triangle. If your plant system itself is susceptible, every chances of plants getting susceptible or attacked by the pathogens. If the soil is enriched, if you have all kinds of biopesticides in that and all kinds of organic matter is there in that, which is nutritious, then plants stand its own mechanism to resist the pathogens or the pests. Now, coming to the topic, see the symptoms. Always plant diseases are recognized by the symptoms it expresses. In a plant system, in a plant, you can see right from the tip till the root region, you can find different kinds of symptoms. It may be shoot blight, it may be leaf blight, it is a fruit rot, or it is a leaf rot, it is a wilting, it is a crown gall, it is a root rot. So all these pathogens or the symptoms caused by the pathogens are identified by the symptoms. Unlike pests will identify based on the presence of the pest, which is which we can see. But here, in case of plant diseases, we cannot see the pathogens through the naked eye. We require only the microscopes. It may be compound microscope or sophisticated electron microscope to see different kinds of fungi, bacteria, viruses, and even the nematodes. So it is only the symptomatic test. Based on the symptom, we always say, you're all familiar that leaf spot. Why it is called leaf spot? Because spot are there in the leaves. Fruit rot, rotting is there with respect to the fruits. So likewise, wilting, the entire plant is wilting. The causes may be different, but we are just talking about only the biotic cause, like fungi, bacteria, viruses, and nematodes. These are the major causes for the plants to get sick, to plants to get ill, for which we should know the stepwise management practices, when to do what and how much we have to use these technologies for the efficient management of the diseases for a very good harvest. And see, I already told you, this is very important from a point of any expert or any gardener who is having a lot of interest. See, properly diagnose the plant. I mean, diagnose the symptom. Always we are making a round on our terrace or in the kitchen garden. Just have a affection with the plant. Just talk to it and see from the closer eyes what is happening to it. So based on that, if the diagnosis is failed, just like in human beings, the plants will lead to death. So therefore, proper diagnosis of any of the symptoms with respect to the disease or pest is very much important before we take any kind of management solutions. Yes, now coming to what are the major fungal diseases? Because I mentioned you, these are the diseases are caused by so many biotic or microbes. Okay, like fungus, like bacteria, virus, and nematodes. There are already so many others, but these are the major plant pathogens which will cause alarming problems or devastating losses to the farming community and to the terrace gardeners. See, mildews. I'm sure all of you have experienced this mildew diseases, which are quite often and which are quite common to vegetables. Powdery mildew, downy mildew. I'll show the pictures also in the subsequent slides. And then comes the spots. Yeah, spots, it may be leaf spot or alternaria, leaf spot, cercospora. They are the different pathogens which are involved in causing such kind of spots. And comes the wilts. Wilts is a fusarium wilt, or it is a verticillium wilt, or it may be, if it is a bacterial wilt is also there. There is a certain diagnosis which I'm going to tell in the very next quick slides. Rots, again, it is fruit rot, stem rot, root rot. Then blights, when it comes early blight or late blight or simply a blight. Then rust. This is an airborne disease, leaf rust, stem rust, white rust, which has to be taken care by only the spraying or resistance mechanism. And then sooty mold, gray mold. So these are the major fungal diseases that is usually comes for the almost all the crops. It need not be only for the terrace raised crops, even under the field conditions also. These diseases are very quite common, and we have to take care of all those diseases. You can see initially when we raise certain seedlings or seeds when we have sown, within another week or 8-10 days time, we can find such kind of symptoms. You can see white mycelial growth on the pods, and a kind of roots get damaged or decaying. And this mainly comes when there is excess water in the pots. When there is excess water, or if the soil is already sick, or if the seeds itself are diseased. Before we take it from the market or from the neighbors, we have to see whether they are previously affected by the seeds. Such kind of seeds, when we sow, we will usually come across with such kind of symptoms, and it is called as damping off, which is caused by very potential pathogens. This Pythium and Rhizoctonia, they are very polyphagous. They affect almost all kind of crops. And this is also very usual symptoms, especially even ornamentals, vegetables. You can see different kinds of shapes are there, but altogether they call it as, we call them as leaf spots. Earlier, whenever there are very small spots, okay, and they will coalesce one to each other, and they will give a bigger appearance of the spots. And especially under organics, it's very difficult at this stage to manage the crop. And the garden lovers or the growers, they should have that regular inspection or vigilance. If there is only one spot or a two spot, immediately we have to take precautionary measures, that we have to spray with whatever, it may be biofungicide, it is a botanical or any organic liquid manure, that we have to take care immediately. Otherwise, what happens, that the disease pressure builds up, the pathogen inoculum builds up, slowly the leaves will shred and it will go into the soil. And again, in the soil, the pathogens will multiply like anything. These are some of the very important things one should keep in mind, that we should not allow any disease to multiply or spread. For that only, we have to take up all the precautionary measures or the organic treatments to manage the disease in the initial stage itself. If the spots, if you do not take care of the spots, it will give a burnt appearance like what you are seeing in the picture. You see, the leaf spot will coalesce, they will join with each other, and it gives a very burnt appearance. It is called as blight. Yeah, it is a beans, and you can see this is a kind of be anthracnose. Okay, you can see if you neglect it in the initial stage, it will go to the very beans also. Earlier, usually it will be restricted only to the leaves. But if you do not take care rightly with the right chemical, organic chemical, it will go to the very economic part. You can see the chili fruit, which is the economic part, beans, which is another economic part. And of course, we cannot able to consume it. Neither we can consume nor we can market it. So this is a kind of damage, some of the diseases that will cause if under very if you do not take care in the proper time with the proper kind of solution. So we have to be very cautious and see the fruits. There are so many fruits, chili fruit or a muskmelon or rich gourd. Many even crops we are growing on the terrace garden as daily consumable, as for our daily food. But we have to be again cautious that if is there any powder mildew, is there any kind of rotting is there. And basically, you see, Dr. Rajendra Hegde was also mentioning the insects. Basically, they make a mechanical damage. Yeah, whenever the fruits comes to a ripening stage, some mechanical damage either by our cicatures or by insect bite or by any injury. If any injury happens to the fruits, if they are on the ground level, even some insect bites also may take place. So we have to be very cautious. If insect bite or any kind of mechanical injury, it hits to the fruit, then saprophytically, that means secondary infection always takes place by the diseases, plant pathogens, and it will cause a very huge loss. And at that time, we cannot really try the organic is the only solution. At that time, we cannot only dependent on organics. Similarly, this is a stem rot. Some of these photographs which are common in field, same holds good even for the terraces. So stem rot, we can see twisting of the bulbs, twisting of the leaves. So ultimately, it results in nothing, zero. We have to be very cautious. And you can see this is, we call this as a wilt. In the beginning slide also, I have mentioned a couple of fungal diseases. This is also one of the major disease that is called as wilt disease. It may be fungal or it may be bacterial. And many times we are looking that it is also caused by the nematodes. Nematode is another big problem in polyhouses, especially under protected structures. You can see this is a kind of wilting, slowly withering of the leaves become dried and entire plants will be stunted. And to identify this fungal wilt, especially for the garden lovers, I'm just giving these tips. When you cut open the stems, you can see the vascular discoloration. Usually this wilts is a vascular bundle disease. When the xylem and phloem vessels, they get blocked, the uptake of nutrients and water from the soil or from the root will be blocked because of the vascular blocking, because of the fungus. It may be Fusarium, it may be Sclerotium, or it may be bacteria, Ralstonia, or it may be nematode. That was I was telling. You cannot apparently say it is a fungus or it is bacteria unless you have a field study or kind of lab study. And this is a very simple study one can do. Just cut open the stem. And if you find a discoloration, which is abnormality in the plant system, and that we call as a fungal wilt. Yeah. And okay, this one more slide is again here for blight, which was I have earlier mentioned. Blight is another most important disease in tomato, potato, brinjal. It may come at any time. And earlier there was a fixed timing for this because the climate was very irregular. And now because of the changing climatic situation, the pathogen also changes. We cannot predict at this particular time of season the disease is going to occur. Earlier, maybe about 20-25 years ago, there was a particular schedule even for these pathogens for its life cycle. During summer, it is more. During winter, it is less. During rainy season, it is more. But now, under this situation is totally different. And we all know that even a single day, we are experiencing all the 3 different seasons. Under such pathogens also confused what to do. And again, I am talking against getting you back that disease triangle. Disease triangle, we should always remember that anytime it may come. And this is mostly in the flowering crops, rose and some of the even vegetables also we can find the short hole symptoms. Short holes means the spots after getting mature, it will fall down, leaving only the holes. That is also caused by a fungus. For this also we have a remedy and we have to take care of this disease. Otherwise, the entire foliage will be defoliated, and photosynthesis value, when it goes down, then the reproductive value will not be getting. So therefore, as it was mentioning in every lecture, just in the morning, I have seen some of the previous sessions where people are morely giving good maintenance of the garden. It's not that always an expert has to give direct solution to the growers. So always a grower also knows, and we always say good agronomic practices or a maintenance of the garden or good growing conditions are very, very important. See, very simple are there. Anybody can practice on their own terrace. Soil solarization. Yeah, I will just tell you what you soil solarization, as the word itself says. Before using any soil, it may be a red soil, black soil, or sandy soil, it has to be properly exposed to the soil in the terrace itself. Just give 1 week or 10 days time, so that any of the pathogen propagules or insect propagules, if any things are there in the soil, it will be exposed to the direct sunlight. And then you can use those soils. Any weeds, sometimes what happens, you may be bringing soils from elsewhere. Weed seeds may also be there in that soil. So those seeds will also be get exposed, and they will not properly grow or germinate. Then comes the sanitation is very, very important. Just like our housekeeping, we have to keep our pots, our all containers should be very clean and very neat, tidy. Suppose if you find any of the plant is affected by the leaf spot, rogue it out, just remove it and then dispose it. Then proper drainage. Of course, this is a very basic thing. Everybody, all of you know, drainage should be very clear, because this fungus and all these microbes, they love more water. If the water is too much, water stagnation is there, then there definitely more number of pathogen, especially fungal propagules we can find. And mulching with green leaves. You can see there are so many green leaves are there. After on the soil, after sowing, or once the seed is germinated, you can use some green manure crops. Any green leaves, you can just put it on the pots or on the containers, so that it acts as a mulch. Evaporation loss will be less, no weeds, and no chance of any fungus to multiply there, and your irrigation frequency can also be reduced. This is also very important. And then application of properly decomposed organic matter. Yes, you have to properly decomposed organic matters you have to apply to the pots or to the containers. Avoid overcrowding of the plants. Don't always, under such disease panic situations, always you have to see roguing out of the heavily densed plants, or from the pots has to be segregated. Then keep pruning the equipments, all the cicature, knife, whatever the tools we are using it for cleaning or maintaining the gardens, it has to be properly disinfected. If you just keep it in the sunlight, in the hot water, that itself is enough. So that if you touch the diseased plant with the cicature, and the same cicature you are using it for the healthy, it's automatically the disease get transferred. Yeah, this is a very common thing we have to keep in mind. And don't over fertilize. This is why I am telling some of the farmers I have seen, they do not know actually what is the dosage of vermicompost. They will fill the pots with the fertilizer up to the brim, up to the full of the pot. It should be 3/4 of the pot or any container. It should not be up to the brim, so that the suffocation to the plants will be seen, and plants will grow very robustly. It's nothing that plants will grow, but our economic parts will not grow. That is what is the meaning here. And then rotation of the crop, as I mentioned, see, there are so many soil-borne diseases are there, many seed-borne diseases are there. One is, I already mentioned, soil solarization. Second one is most important, is rotation of the crop. If your crops are really, every year they are getting susceptible or damaged by the disease or pest, keep rotating them. 1 year from the vegetables, you go to the flowers to pulses to some other crops. Likewise, in the field also, we always tell to the farmers, don't cultivate same crop year after year in the same land. So every chance is there for our all urban gardeners, that you just keep this, just like changing the soil, change the crops also, in the same pot. After one season, take out all the soil, add the mixed soil, and again go with the different crop. And the last one is, it is favored by a wet environment. So water in the morning, so foliage has time to dry before nightfall. And see, this is solarization is nothing but this is how you have to take out the soil and just keep it on the terrace itself, so that it will be exposed to the soil, and it will give a less number of pathogens and pests, and which you can use it. And similarly, this is just try to avoid this one, avoid dense planting. Yeah, whenever such disease problems are there, this is just like keeping one above the other very closely. So when you come across with such kind of diseases, just make a separation of the pots. Otherwise, what happens, even water splash, when we irrigate it through rosehead can or pipe, the soil-borne disease like Pythium or Phytophthora or Rhizoctonia, Sclerotium, they will just splash through the irrigation water and will spill over to the next pot. And this is how the disease will transfer, and infection it become contagious. Even in the virus case also, viral disease also, even by contact with the leaf, many times aphids or some sucking pest, which are the vectors for the viral diseases, they will just suck one sap, one leaf, and immediately go to the next. So in other, that's why we always say avoid the dense planting under such disease conditions. Even otherwise also, if you have sufficient space, keep a distance between the pots and the plants. Yeah, then avoid excess watering and planting in the containers. Usually, many times it happens so that we keep on watering daily, once, twice. Yeah, you irrigate based on the heat or in the sunlight, but it should not be too much dampness. Yeah, if the dampness is there, again, it gives a favorable climate for the pathogens to aggravate there. Their population will build up, and it will give you all of a sudden different disease problems. And that's why avoid dense plant population and maintain spacing. Yeah, somewhere I got it from the book itself. You can see, you can have any kind of container. It may be polythene, it may be earthen pots, it may be a sophisticated container like this, but make a sufficient distance so that the water will not split out, or if you spray for one, it should not affect the other. In this way, if you maintain the garden, it's a good growing condition. That's what I'm stressing. These are all very cultural management practices wherein each individual has to take care. And based on the pot size, we have to put the seeds. You should not make a very dense population of the plants. Further, what happens if any one seedling, any two seedlings is damaged due to the dampness or due to any pathogens, the entire lot will be going out. Therefore, better aeration is required. Proper moisture is we have to maintain. And this is again, I'm telling you, watering is simply, if you spray like this, misting is not a good solution for any fungal diseases, because it also spreads the disease. And again, accumulation of the water in the container, it also causes so much of damage. So we have to be very careful in irrigating the crop. Now, the most important aspect is all these days you have been talked, or we have been given so much of information about botanicals and organic liquid manures. And I'm stressing more on this biopesticides also, because I'm involved in mass production, is quality control of different biopesticides, which are produced in our University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad. And I think most of you have heard of this. Trichoderma harzianum, Pseudomonas fluorescens, Bacillus subtilis, Bacillomyces liliaceus. These are the different biofungicides. You see, this Trichoderma is a biofungicide, Pseudomonas and Bacillus are biobactericides, and Bacillomyces is bionematicides. They are also being they are also available commercially, and many other universities are also producing. And my friend Dr. Rajendra Hegde also takes many of such samples for the benefit of the urban gardeners to manage these diseases. And see, it's very important to know that which biopesticide controls which disease. Yeah, you can see this Trichoderma harzianum. You all know it's a very potential biopesticide which takes care of all the seed-borne, soil-borne diseases like whatever, so Sclerotium, Fusarium. If you give a seed treatment, if you go with soil treatment, definitely Trichoderma harzianum is one of the best solution to manage any of the fungal diseases which are soil-borne and seed-borne in nature. And similarly, Pseudomonas fluorescens and Bacillus subtilis, they are very much helpful for the control of root rots, powdery mildews, downy mildews, and leaf spots, sheath blights. Such kind of airborne or which are above ground symptoms or diseases are there. Definitely the Pseudomonas fluorescens and Bacillus subtilis, they really works very well. And Bacillomyces liliaceus, I was just mentioning this nematode is also another problem in the plant diseases. In plant diseases, it can also be managed by using this bionematicides. And there are n number of products are available in different private sectors and even in the corporate and government sectors. Please make use of this a kind of integrated disease management. Yeah, this is that's what I was telling you. Instead of using only the organic matter, you can add a sufficient number of all these trichoderma, pseudomonas, bacillomyces, and mix it properly, and then add as a potting mixture to the soil. So that what happens, your FOM or organic matter is rich in nutrients. If you value add it the trichoderma, it will take care of the soil borne and seed borne fungal pathogens. Then you can mix it in the or put it in the pots. And these are the some of the samples or products of US Dharwad, that is Trichoderma harzianum. This is a pouch, okay, and it is everything is mentioned on the back side of this pouch, that what for it is being used and how to use and when to use. These are all the biofungicides that is being produced at US Dharwad, and you all know that it enhances the growth, it is eco-friendly, and it is helpful in disease suppression by colonizing on the roots, and ultimately you can get a good yield. And apart from that, the mode of action of these biopesticides is that it colonizes on the roots, so that when it colonizes, there is a less chance of pathogens to come in contact with the roots. Because the most important thing of this biopesticide is that they will multiply very fast. When the substrate is available, it will multiply very fast, giving very least space and least food to the pathogens to invade. And therefore, when these biological agents take upper hand and giving least to the pathogens will drive away. They will go to the other place. And that is how the biopesticides will come in the rescue of the growers. And then you can see it produces some antibiotics. When this trichoderma, pseudomonas, metarhizium, any kind of biopesticides, it may be entomopathogenic also. When it comes in contact with the root or the pathogen, it produces some metabolites, which is becoming toxic to the or repellent action to the pathogens. And even I told you this Bacillomyces liliaceus, which is a having nematocidal property. It is an egg parasitoid. It grows and it parasitizes the egg and ruptures, and that's the end. And even we will go for bacterial seed treatment. I was mentioning in one of the slides, seed treatment is also important, and even seedling dip. Sometimes what happens, I have seen some of the growers, they will bring the seedlings from the neighboring source or from the outside, and they will simply plant it. Only one request is, before you plant, you dip them. If you forget about the soil treatment, if you forget about seed treatment, at least seedling dip, you have to do it in any of these biological control agents, especially Pseudomonas fluorescens is recommended for seedling dip. You can dip the seedlings for about for half an hour, 20 minutes to 30 minutes, so that it will induce resistance in the plant system. That is what is required now. When it induces resistance in the plant system, all the hormones or all the enzymes in the plant system will get activated. They will produce defense enzymes, and of course, they will get rid of the disease. And see, these are different ways how can we use the seeds. Seed treatment, we can go with mixing with the FOM, we can go with foliar spray, even we can drench. When the disease comes unexpectedly, because of one or the other reasons, we can even drench in the pots. And this is one of the source that is NPCT. I got how to manage this fungal. We all know that a mixture of ash and castor oil, it also good for the soil-borne disease management. We all know that ash is having a lot of nutritional value. When we add it as a manure in the pots, it will take care of so many diseases along with this castor oil. Similarly, powdery mildew, that's the literature says that turmeric powder, it is having an antimicrobial compound in that, just like we are using it. Along with turmeric powder, wood ash also takes care of the powdery mildew. Similarly, ginger is at another valued medicinal plant, which is a spice, can used in different concentrations. Chili, garlic, along with the ginger alone, can be useful at 50. When you spray the ginger solution at 20 gram per liter at 15 days interval, will also take care of the powdery mildew especially and fungal disease. And this lantana is a exotic ornamental, actually it was, but now it is a weed. And from that weed also we can manage, along with the cow urine, we can manage fungal and bacterial disease in the terrace gardening systems also. And see, there are so many reports says that this honge, just like it's ongemia, just like neem. The neem cake also being used, even honge cake are being used in acres together of land. But when you use in the terrace garden, especially 5 kg of fresh leaves with 5 liter of water and grind it, and if you have to filter in 1:5 dilution, if you spray to the vegetables or ornamentals, it will take care of the soil-borne diseases and other microbes. So next important is airborne diseases. All this I was mentioning about seed-borne and soil-borne diseases. The most important disease respected to airborne disease is powdery mildew. I'm sure in every day you are looking at either on the ornamentals or on the vegetables or some other creepers or on the vines. You may be seeing all such kind of powdery mass, a white powdery growth on the leaf. You can see the dense on the both surface of the leaf. It is on the higher leaves on the top surface or on the lower surface. You can see such kind of powdery mildew. Yeah, and you can see this is downy mildew. Yeah, you can see the patches. This is the symptoms, and that's what I told you. Only based on the symptoms we have to correctly identify what is the cause and what is the disease. And rust is another airborne disease. We can see the raised black or brownish color pustules on the left side and on the white pustules. Usually it comes to mustard and also the cowpea. Yeah, they are most susceptible such kind of disease. Again, environment plays a major role here. If it is temperature between 22 to 30, okay, which that's why even we can manage this temperature with the watering, mulching. We can avoid these kind of diseases. But over and above, we all should know that this kind of disease, when it comes, we have to be very alert in managing the diseases. And of course, this we usually see in guava and mango, curry leaf, all those some of the fruit plants, fruit crops, they are susceptible or they will be infected by such kind of sooty mold. And here it's a mixed infection. The insect's role is also very much prominent here, and therefore to manage such kind of sooty mold, because honeydew secretions also we can find on the fruits or on the leaves. We have to advocate or we have to suggest a common practice which includes both insecticide as well as the fungicide, organically accepted fungicide and the insecticide. And see, to manage all those airborne diseases, as I mentioned, biopesticides are always there. Pseudomonas, bacillus, and even combination of this Pseudomonas, bacillus, they can be combined and we can spray. And you know, commercially, Ampylomyces fiscalis is also available. These are all very eco-friendly. Spray of all those botanicals which I mentioned, Ipomia or Honge, Neem. This can also be sprayed. And along with this Pseudomonas biopesticides, and another very safe and very natural product which is organically accepted is again the sulfur, vegetable sulfur, and copper-based fungicides. This can also be sprayed depending on the intensity of the disease. So it's not an overnight effect to control the disease in organics. Farmer must be having a lot of patience because every week interval, every 8 to 10 days interval, he has to try either of this. Either it may be biopesticide or organic manure or the safe molecules like vegetable sulfur and copper-based fungicides. Leaf extract is also recommended for the management of the disease. So we have to go along with the good growing conditions. The bacterial, some of these things can also be taken into consideration for effective management. And see, when the fungus is one kind of pathogen, and then comes the bacteria. Again, a similar kind of symptoms you will find. Only the organism and symptoms vary. Leaf spots, canker, blight, wilt. You can see these are the different symptoms of the bacterial infection. Water-soaked lesions, some kind of papery leaves, raised pustules. In canker also we can find a raised gummy exudates. So these are all mostly due to even sometimes we will also get confused whether it is an insect or it is a bacteria. But to show that it is a bacteria, there is one simple technology is there that you can test for a ooze. Just suppose this is a tomato plant, which is you can see the first one, which is infected by the bacteria. If you just cut open the or if you just take out the infected portion and just dip it in the glass, a transparent glass or a pipette or a kind of material container like this, just wait for a minute, which is filled with water, and just wait for a minute, you can find a kind of ooze is coming out of that cut ends. A very simple test for anybody can do this. just to see how fungal wilt is different from the bacterial wilt. So this is a very simple ooze test. We call it as a ooze test, a smoke-like stuff. You can see from the cut end of the affected part, and that is how we have to identify, diagnose, and then give the treatment. Again, there is no much difference with respect to the treatment. Again, I am stressing the cultural. Build healthy soil through composting and natural ingredients. Follow good hygiene methods. Clean and sharpen the tools after use. Disinfect recycled pots before use. Get rid of the sick plants. Clean up all garden debris at the end of the season. And again, keep rotating, because this, if you do not rotate, these some polyphagous pathogens like sclerotium and this bacteria, they will be there throughout the soil, making their habitat. So if you just give a different kind of atmosphere by growing different crops, it will succumb to it will starve for food and it will die. That is one of the best remedy, and keep the soil not too wet or not too dry, just like that. So use of biofungicides, resistant varieties, biobactericides are also the options, and all we have to remove all those infected parts. I was telling. Any of the parts, any infected leaf is there, any infected fruit is there, quickly remove and dispose it, burn it. Don't allow to fall in the terrace. Don't allow them to fall on the FIM. Don't allow them to get mixed with the soil. So better you immediately separate it, keep isolation, then isolate the pots, roguing out, spray with all those things. More traditional treatment, spraying with even mild solution of bicarbonate soda, even baking soda. Even Rajendra Hegde was also mentioning the products, wherever such a baking soda is there, sodium bicarbonate, it will also be one of the wonderful solutions to manage any of these diseases very effectively. Then coming to the viral diseases, see, these are all the different symptoms. You can see, you can always even many scientists also get confused whether it is a deficiency or whether it is a really a viral problem. But there are symptoms. Again, you can see the deformed fruits, very bulky fruit, venal discoloration, upward curling, downward curling. That is very common with the viral diseases, and we can always see some insects moving around the leaf, or it will be there on the lower surface of the leaf, feeding on the lower surface of the leaf. Mostly, the insects are the major vectors for these viral diseases. Maximum these viral disease will transmit through the vectors, that is insect vectors. They may be mostly they are sucking pests, aphids, mites, thrips, whiteflies. So we will also find such kind of insect vectors in the vicinity of that crop, just to identify whether it is a viral in nature. You can see these are a hard surface which is a very stunted growth, whiptail-like symptoms. You can see very small leaves, and what is it, mosaic appearance. You can see a green patch coupled with yellow patch, shrinkage of leaf, stunted growth. It gives a very such kind of symptoms, and that is how we have to identify. Probably there may be a virus, and we have to control it only through managing the vectors. And it's very common that bunchy top is a crowning. It's a completely crowded leaves, upright crowded leaves, which are very small and stunted growth. More common, it's called a bunchy top virus, again caused by the vector. And papaya, even in the home scale gardens, people are growing this papayas, even in the terrace gardens, papaya, bananas in the used containers, they are being practiced. And many times, because of the environmental situation, insects, they play a major role in causing this virus. And we have to be very critical about the symptoms in the very beginning stage itself, because this is all a very severe stage. We cannot make any kind of management strategies at this stage. Understand? Only in the very beginning stage, when the leaf starts showing the early symptoms only, we have to take care of the viral diseases. And the well-known one which everybody practices and which is more commonly available in the market is commercially the neem oil. Always the gardeners, the terrace gardeners, it's a request that keep always a neem seed kernel extract bottle or a neem leaf extract bottle, so that it's immediate remedy to manage such kind of insects, further to manage the viruses. You can even in olden days and in the villages, people even they go to the forest and they will collect the seeds and leaves. They will keep it overnight. They will crush and they will make a powder and they will keep it for immediate spray. But apart from that, we have always got a ready-made solution, because immediately if you spray means at least the insects will repel. They will go to the some other place where we can minimize the viral problems. And this lantana camera, just like I have earlier told for the fungal disease, this is also having a virucidal property. This can also be used to manage the viral diseases. And the coconut and sorghum leaf extract. Yeah, this is well proven in the groundnut bud necrosis viruses and even chili murda. Chili is another very economic crop, wherein even the terrace gardener also we are taking up this chili capsicum. The extract of this coconut leaves and also this dried leaves of sorghum will really help in increasing the resistance of the plant. It directly doesn't kill the virus, but what happens? It will run away. The insects will run away, and the internal immunity of the plant will get boosted, and we can protect to some extent by these viral diseases. And as far as the biopesticide is concerned, Lecanicilium lecani, this is a insect, this is a fungus which kills the insects, okay, and which is available in our university, which especially for the managing the sucking pest. And wherever the farmer comes in contact with us, especially manage the viral diseases, wherein the aphids or the mites or any sucking pest takes the major role, we always advocate to go with Lecanicilium lecani 2 gram per liter. So in the initial, if you take 1 to 2 sprays effectively, all the insects will run away, and the incidence of virus will also get come down. And even you can see, it looks like a very aesthetic, it gives a very pleasant look on the terrace. But behind that, there is a strategy that by growing such ornamentals, also we can reduce the pest and diseases. The petals of this marigold, which is on the down, it attracts some of the pests. So when the sucking pest will attract towards the flowers, normally the incidence of the viral disease will come down. Not only that, because of its bushy appearance, a long-standing appearance, the flight of the insects will also get blocked. So always a request to all of you is that after every, suppose if you have grown tomato, if you have grown brinjal, after 2 to 3 rows, just keep a long standing crop like this, or a flower crop like this. We call in our field condition intercropping or mixed cropping. So there are so many hidden morals are there, or scientific values are there behind every such intercrops and mixed crops. So in the gardener, in the terrace gardening also, you will be having all such kinds of flowers and a good number color foliages. Keep them in between so that it will restrict the movement of the insects. Thereby we can avoid the viral problems. And these are also already proven ones. Seed, leaf, rhizome extracts of all these: neem, honge, vitex, calotropis, lantana, tulsi, sweet flag, clerodendron, turmeric, hing. Even we have seen in the previous speaker, Dr. Hegde was stressing about the usage of all such kind of botanicals. Yeah, even human beings, we have become so much conscious about all these things especially under this COVID-19 period. Those who are also not aware, people also get used to have kada and other kind of extract out of all these plants. So just like in human beings, it has having a lot of medicinal value, and in the plant system also, it will also boost up the plant immunity. It will make the plants to produce enzymes which are hidden, which are passive in the plants, and it will increase the resistance. So every chances are there by using, and in our university also, students and researchers are going on with respect to all these things, and they have proven very well. See, you cannot 100% manage only with the lantana or only with the vitex or vinca rosea or tulsi. So 60 to 50, 60, 70% you can manage in the early stage, coupled with other practices like biofungicides, use of other extracts and other organic manures. So always it should go hand in hand, and then only our practice will become more sustainable, and it will be good for the good harvest. And the last most important pathogen that everybody should know, that is a nematode. Yeah, nematode is at another big problem, and I told you wilting is a classical symptom of this nematodes, mostly the root knot nematodes. We can see when you uproot, if you have a doubt with respect to the plant, you just uproot and just see. You can see the swollen parts on the roots adherent to the roots, and not like structure. You can see what you see in the picture. similar kind of galls will be there, and that really disturbs the uptake of nutrients and water, and of course it leads to the death of the plant and even wilting. And you can see this is one of the classical product, that is bionematicide, which is egg parasiticide, and it's called as Bacillomyces lelacinus. And as such, there is no direct nematicide chemically or organically, but this is recommended. We have seen its use in polyhouse conditions, or wherever nematode is a problem. Even we can see in the open conditions, this guava, mango, pomegranate, they are becoming very much affected by this kind of nematodes. And the farmers have given really a good feedback. When we mix this Bacillomyces along with the organic matter, it will really have managed the nematode population. Even neem cake application, see, that is for the open land, it was mentioned there, but for 50 or 100 grams of neem cake along with per pot, or if you mix it FOM in beginning, it will take care of the nematode problems. And even the tagetes, I just told you, the marigold. Yeah, marigold extract is very, very well proven. In the open conditions also, the root extracts of which marigold will have a lethal effect on the nematode populations. So these are all very farmer-friendly or very eco-friendly management strategies we can manage to manage the diseases very effectively. And then these are some of the commercial formulations of trichoderma and other biocontrol agents which are available in the market, and some of the botanical pesticides which are proven. For example, Tulsi is for leaf curl disease, Pongemia for what is that, insecticide, bactericide, nematicide. Yeah, there are n number. See, that's why in the beginning only I told even it is a concept that this gardening is a passion. Okay, it is there is no any pakka proven remedies for that. Yeah, it is just by experiencing. Try your own, because every condition is not uniform everywhere. The Dharwad condition is different from Bangalore. Bangalore condition is different from Tamil Nadu. Yeah, it's all depends on a microclimate, and based on our need, we have to keep trying. See that we have to try it in the advance, in the beginning stage itself. Yeah, based on the disease pressure, and then only all these things will be giving good results. And these are different things, and of course, everywhere we are mentioning this Panchagavya or cattle urine, Jivamrita, Bijamrita. They are also a kind of stimulants or the plant growth promoters. If you have a good drip facilities or overhead irrigation facilities, even through drip or through spray also you can give. Only the fresh culture or the fresh sample is required. It will boost up the natural immunity, and apart from giving the nutrition to the plant, it also it will take care of the plant diseases. And most important, again, the cultural practice, don't forget, it may be bacteria, it may be nematode, or it may be fungus, virus. Yeah, these things are very, very important, very good growing conditions or good management practices. Clean cultivation, healthy seeds, seed treatment, right size containers, good lights, mulching, regular and timely watering, proper drainage, crop rotation, balanced and enriched compost, removal of affected plant parts, and burning the diseased parts. These are all the cultural practices we have to remember. And Dr. Rajendra Hegde gave me at least sum up with a package for the farmers. It may be any kind of biotic stress, especially pathogens. So this is a common schedule that one has to follow for effectively manage the disease, which will not cause any economic loss. See, all those apart from keeping all those good growing conditions, we have to go with seed treatment with trichoderma. Basically, trichoderma is for seed treatment. If any seed-borne diseases are there, it will be taken care by that biofungicide. Then application of trichoderma enriched organic matter or Bacillomyces, or together, they are all compatible to each other. We have to enrich the organic matter so that there is a competition between biocontrol agents and pathogens. Then seedling dip in Pseudomonas fluorescens, because it will induce resistance. Then spray with Pseudomonas bacillus for powdery mildew, leaf spot, rots. Spray with neem-based pesticides. Yeah, neem seed or leaf extract. We have to keep a bottle always in our home. Just like in our place, we always keep a Kudacharist, one of the Ayurvedic medicine. If any stomach problem is there, we will immediately take. So it is always better that you keep a neem-based biopesticides at home. Spray with suitable botanical pesticides which are well proven, and even you can try some of the pesticides on your own just to see its efficacy. Then appropriate biopesticides mentioned here. Spray with natural and safe organic fungicides like copper-based, sulfur-based. They can also be tried as a last option to effectively manage any kind of diseases. Yeah, just before I say thank you to all the garden lovers or the people present here. So this is a word by Kalam that if you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. So end is not the end. In fact, end means effort never dies. You will be learning something. See, it's not that we are doing all those things in the beginning. So effort never dies. You can share your ideas with others. And finally, if you get no as an answer, remember no means next opportunity. That's what I'm being stressing. All the conditions are not similar. Maybe I may be saying trichoderma is good, but again, it depends on the soil, which kind of soil, how much organic matter, how much moisture is there. Under set of conditions, they all work together. So I will conclude my topic with the wordings of the Kalam, and please take care of all the diseases in a very integrated approach and with all patients, timely, with defined botanical or biofungicide for the effective management of the plant disease in the terrace garden. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guru, for the wonderful presentation. I was knowing that you will do justice for this topic. 100% sure, based on that our interaction, and probably as an field officer at Agriculture Man Ecology Foundation, at the same time at Agriculture University, Bangalore. You have detailed it nicely, but there are so many queries on YouTube. Probably we have some time. So you, you are the one who finished in 50 minutes time, or we all took about one hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes all the time whenever we did the presentation. Anyway, so
there is a time, enough time for interaction. Even I can also get some information from others also.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's really good.
So that way, all our presentation is on the same purpose. So if there is somebody who is learning, we want to make them a better gardener tomorrow. If somebody already doing gardening and we want to make them a very good gardener tomorrow, and if somebody is more learned than us, we want to learn from them. That is the whole idea of this event, or probably in all our sessions and workshops.
Yeah,
things that you mentioned, Guru, so nicely. That about the plant products, biopesticides, especially we don't want to become farmers, we don't want to become scientists, we want to be a very good gardeners, and we want to be practitioners. We want to practice and harvest the maximum that what we can. So that is the whole idea of urban foodscapes. So it is entirely different compared to a real farming situation. So many of us will have doubts, and I think I have just noted. Meenakshi, you are there. You can ask those questions.
Yes, okay. I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Then before that, probably some of this based on my experience, something that what you have mentioned, the plant products and other things that we also, based on our experience, that we developed the product called Sasya Rakshak, which has about 10 different botanicals. So instead of people searching for 10 different botanicals, that they can surely use that, and it is surely, say it works on sucking pests, it works on the fungal diseases, it works on biting insects. So that way, so it is a kind of Ramban that we developed, and so many are using. See, mycodim probably as a kind of the fungal control agent, where different type of the materials which are acceptable in organic farming, very safe to soil and very safe to environment. So that product is very good for the management of fungal diseases. So some of these things that you have mentioned, though I know that you cannot mention all these names because these are, then it becomes very more commercial. But I can mention, because based on our experience and research, that we have developed this product for the gardeners use. So that way, anyway, neem is always there, but neem is not Ramban. That's what you mentioned. So you have to make your plants robust so that the biopesticides, the organic pesticides perform better. So that way, I will stop there. We will discuss later. So Meenakshi, if you can ask those questions, please.
Sure. Thank you very much, sir. Fantastic presentation. We have a few questions. The first one is, can biopesticides be used proactively or to manage diseases only on detection?
This biopesticides, as I was mentioning, it can be used as a precautionary. Yeah, before the disease comes, because everybody knows that some of the disease is definitely going to occur. So under
Right.
such circumstances, if you use it as a soil or any seed treatment, it's always a precautionary. Yeah, it's not a more. It's precaution is better than cure. Always you have to use in advance.
Perfect. Okay, the next question is, if biopesticides were not added in the potting mix when it was prepared, then what are the options to add? Also,
Yeah.
how can we add biopesticides for a ground garden?
See, if you do not add it well in advance before the pot is filled, you can use it as a drenching. So every chance is there, you can add 10 gram per liter of these biopesticides and drench it around the rhizosphere or in the soil. So that is one way of adding these biopesticides to the soil. And even on the grounds also the same kind. There is no separate treatment for the ground and for the terrace pots. We can add it as a drench solution. Yeah, make a solution and add it. That is good. Yeah.
And you can spray also.
Yeah, further, if any foliar disease is noticed, then you can spray. Yeah.
Okay. And is there any recommended frequency to drench the soil?
There is no any recommended. Once always we tell precautionary, because once if the biopesticides goes into the soil and when it mixes with the organic matter, it will multiply.
Correct.
You need not have to repeatedly go for soil drenching.
You have to. Only thing is that you have to provide that condition for them to multiply.
Sufficient moisture and organic matter should be there.
And adding
organic matter.
Moisture and organic matter.
Yes. You're right.
So if our gardeners continuously add fresh organic matter like compost or leaf mulch or leaf manure, then that should provide the environment, as long as they also keep the soil watered well, right?
Exactly, madam. Exactly. You're right.
Oh, okay. The next question is, what products can we use for wettable sulfur or copper that is safe for organic gardening? Are they easily available?
Yes, they are commercially available. Both of them are commercially available. Wettable sulfur. Yeah. It is an age-old molecule, madam. It is an age-old molecule which is a natural, and even we can use it. It is available in the market. Anytime it can be, we can take it from the market. Even the copper-based fungicides.
Okay. No, Guru. Yeah? Guru. I think the question was, so if the wettable sulfur and copper sulfate, if they do not want to use, is there anything of natural origin which can replace the sulfur or which can replace the copper sulfate? So if you know something, see, if you ask me that, I will straightforward tell that you use mycodium. So it has copper sulfate and it has the sodium bicarbonate and other things, and it is good for fungal diseases. But something maybe sulfur. If you ask me that, I say that sulfur is there in onion, sulfur is there in garlic. Right. So can we make garlic onion extract in place of wettable sulfur? Whether it works? Should work.
No, it definitely sulfur is work, but the alternates I have already mentioned, some of the botanicals and some of the biopesticides, and even this Ampelomyces fiscalis, just as I was mentioning, another biopesticide which is already commercial, AQ. It is called as AQ. It is there in the Bangalore market. That can also be used. And even you can see, Madam Rajendra, even for powdery mildew, if you spray a fine spray with the water itself will take care of the powdery mildew.
Correct.
Especially for the powdery mildew in the initial stage. You can spray. In the initial. Yes.
Correct. But you have to be, that's what you mentioned. So you have to be very observant, regular scouting, and at the early stage that the forceful water spray also should be fine. Yes, but of course, if you observe in the later stage, then you have to take up some other precautions.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is, how should we dispose of diseased plants?
See, always we have to carry a gunny bag or a kind of a paper bag with us whenever we are visiting to the terrace. Keep all those affected part in that garbage or in that poly bag, and then bring it down and you burn it either, or you can dump it in the soil. Yeah. See,
should it be polarized specifically? As in generally, it is not advised to add it to your regular compost pile, right?
Yeah, that's right. If it is diseased, we are also not advising it to add it in the compost. But better you use it, you burn it, or you can just put it in the soil again. because these all these are living. It requires a living plant. If the plant is dead, means microbes will not survive.
Right, right. And then after that, also once it has decomposed, solarizing will ensure there is nothing left again.
Yes, 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 yes. That is also another alternative.
Something
yes.
like at least the virus infected parts, it can be added in the soil. But if it is fungus, you have to be little more careful, because it can probably carry the spores for the next.
So that's why that soil solarization will also take care. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The next question is, can we add biopesticides to compost?
Surely, yes.
Yes, madam. Because it is a food substrate for the biological control agents. Because compost is also kind of organic matter, wherein profusely these biological agents will grow. Definitely, yes.
So one clarification may be here. So there are specific microbes also available for composting, right? For faster breakdown. Is it advisable to use the biopesticides for compost, or just simply use the compost microbes?
No, see, suppose for this Trichoderma viridae, it is both a decomposer as well as a biopesticide.
Right.
Okay. Some of such microbes are there wherein you can use it for both purpose.
Correct.
I'm not remembering some of the bacteria which are very fast. They will degrade the compost. Correct. At the same time, it will make the nutrients available to the plants.
Right. Right. Okay.
There are some microbes which can be used.
Okay. I think the question is linked to our waste decomposing culture today. See, from the Regional Center of Organic Farming or National Center of Organic Farming, that it is readily available, and we regularly use it as an compost culture. Apart from the cultures from the universities and other things, hopefully that they have the fungus, the bacteria, there may be other type of microorganisms to decompose the organic matter quickly. So along with that, can we add some other type of biopesticides and other things? I think that should be fine. That we can always use.
Yeah, see, all these are compatible with each other. Yeah, they will do their different works. It will be decomposing, and this will be taking care of the pest and diseases. Only thing we should know whether they are compatible or not. That is the important thing.
Right, right. I think it's also assuming that you have to ensure that the conditions are met for the microbes to continue to multiply. So if you if you have put the biopesticides in the compost and then the compost has gone dry, let's say collected compost or something, then it may be it would have been better if you put it later for the garden itself, not for your compost.
Yes.
So those kind of things, I think people should just keep in mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are and Meenakshi madam, they are the fungal, the bacterial system. They are very intelligent, and if they come across this kind of odd conditions, they overwinter, they become dormant, and they come back when they get the good conditions.
Okay.
So it will be there. See, only thing is 100 may become 10. And from 10 to become 100, it is no matter. The day that they get good condition, they multiply very.
That's why, Rajendra, I was telling that this is triangle. That environment, even if dormant mycelia is there, if the environment is really favorable, it may come at any time. If you use the same undecomposed material or dried one to the potting mixture. Yes, madam.
Okay. Next question. How can we differentiate between nematode attacks versus other kinds of nodules that are formed on roots?
Yeah, madam. See, usually these pulse crops or legume crops they are also forming nodules. For example, soybean, groundnut, cowpea. Okay. If I understood your questions rightly, see these nematodes, they are very much adhere to the root surface. You simple just by making just by fingertip or finger touch, it will not fall down. Unlike the other nodules, I just mentioned pulse nodules. If you just push it, it will fall down because it is superficially attached to the roots. But whereas this nematode is completely adhered to the root system, there is a close binding between the nematode and the root system, which we cannot separate. That is the differentiation.
Okay.
And if you cut something?
If you cut open and see, you can see a pink color discoloration in the affected galls.
When there is a nematode attack?
Yes, when there is a nematode attack. And even you can see that that's galls in the even sometimes to the naked eye also.
Right, right.
Though it is microscope, but under some circumstances you can see even through the naked eye, a pink color ooze and something that organism we can see.
Sure, sure. Okay. The next question is there any all-in-one biopesticide?
You mean combi product of these biopesticides altogether?
Yes.
No, not so far. As far as my knowledge goes, we will recommend separately. But since last 2 years, our university is working on combi products by using all these microbes. Maybe for insect control, maybe for fungus control, nematode, and also as a decomposer, you rightly said. So we are working since last 2 years, but yet we have not come to the recommendation stages.
Okay. Okay.
One all-in-one botanical pesticide is Saccharakshak.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
which should control insect, which should control a fungal disease, which should control a viral disease. The idea of Saccharakshak when we design is for this purpose only, because we as urbanites that we don't have patience to do one for the insect, one for fungus, one for bacteria and other things. So that way, I think there is lots of scope for you.
No, but what happens, Ravindra, if you mix them and you can spray at once, they're all compatible, trichoderma or pneumonia or neem oil, you can mix all together instead of going for a repeated spray. You can mix them, but as such, no ready-made product as on date.
Okay. I'm just checking. Okay, there's one other question. Why not mulch with brown leaves? I think this came from Pramila. Pramila, maybe you want to.
If you want to clarify, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't understand. What is brown leaf?
The question is, why not mulch with brown leaves?
So she is there. She is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a light here, but
no problem.
You'd mentioned mulching with green leaves. So actually, that's. I just wanted to know the logic.
I think even brown leaves, mulching with brown leaves is also fine.
It's not very hard and fast, madam, that it should be only with the green leaves. Yeah. I sold green leaf manures because green leaf manures are available, which are having both nutritional property, because when you mulch them, some nutrients will also go into the soil. So in that context, green leaf manures, I may say.
So
but
you meant like greening. You meant greening.
Greening, mulching is the purpose there. You have to you have to close the surface of the soil with, it may be dried or it may be brown or it may be green. No problem. The principle behind that is the soil should be covered and no evaporation loss should be there. That's the principle.
During summer.
And keep the moisture also retained. I think other than the rainy season, all other seasons, you ensure the soil.
During summer, you open it up during rainy season.
Correct.
I think the Pramila has one more question. What is that amaranth trait? I also did not mention. Did you mention somewhere? Guru, amaranth treatment or something like that?
That was in his one of the things, amaranthus.
Amaranthus. So, did you mention somewhere that amaranthus?
Yeah, maybe in the botanicals it was there, along with the Tulsi, Vinca rosea. Amaranthus leaf extract is widely being used to manage viral diseases. Amaranthus leaf extract.
Yes.
Okay. See, that's why it's mainly for the sucking pest. If the pest is reduced, virus problem will be automatically minimized.
So, a related question: any plant of the family, Amaranthus family?
It is now what we call Rajgiri. Yeah, Rajgiri. That we tell it is a green Amaranthus.
Okay.
I'm not very sure about others because there are different Amaranthus, but we have tried only with this green Amaranthus.
All right, thank you.
No, I know. See, especially if you look at the antiviral properties, see, much better antiviral properties with lantana than amaranth, or probably the much better antiviral properties with the sorghum leaves and coconut leaves than amaranth leaves. But amaranth, if you have plenty in your terrace garden, so surely
you can make use of it.
You can make use.
You can make use of it.
But then coconut leaves also are available easily, right? Not in the garden, but everywhere.
So that is the principle behind organic terrace gardening. It is a locally available resources. Whatever our resources available to you in plenty in your vicinity, make the best use of it, madam.
Correct. Okay, one more question is, how do we use the turmeric and wood ash mixture?
Yeah, turmeric, that is actually, it's not my experience. I took it from the literature. and I thought let us share so that some discussion will take place. Turmeric, as far as my knowledge goes, it is an antibacterial and antifungal. Yeah, and wood ash, you know, this sawdust. Wood ash is nothing but a sawdust. Normally, we go for moisture. It will hold the moisture for a longer period of time. Therefore, the mixture of this turmeric powder and when you mix with wood ash, the turmeric powder will enhance the microbial activity, which will be retained in the sawdust for a longer period of time, so that diseases, soil-borne, it is especially for the soil-borne fungal diseases. When you add it to the pots, it will be helpful.
I think in general also wood ash has especially for gourds and pumpkins. Many of your
mulch. It is basically
leaves.
a mulch, madam. Yeah.
It helps also if you sprinkle on the leaves. A lot of those sucking insects get repelled.
Yeah.
That way, and then the potash also gets added to the soil.
Yeah, ash
I'm
basically.
getting confused. Is it wood ash or is it sawdust?
It's a wood ash.
Wood ash. It's a wood ash.
I think after burning maybe your coconut shell.
So it's not mulch then.
Okay.
It's not wood ash is actually, madam said, it is rich in potash, and potash indirectly helps in disease resistance.
Expiry date for these biopesticides?
Exactly. Yes. See, there are talc-based formulations and liquid-based formulations. These talc-based formulations can be used up to 6 to 8 months, not more than that, because the population of the microbes will go down after 6 months. Okay. And talc and liquid-based formulations are available now nowadays. You can use up to 12 months. Yeah, that is scientifically based on that colony forming units, shelf life, or it's called a shelf life of the microbes. It will be viable only up to 6 months, and liquid will be available up to 12 months. Only that is the expiry dates.
So it's important for people to check the
yes
date before buying. Yeah.
It's very important.
But whether Dr. Gurudatt, whether it is true if you keep it outside or if you keep it in the freezer as well.
See, refrigerator makes the difference of only 2 months, Rajendra. Okay. 6 months under room temperature, 8 months under refrigerated condition, 12 months under normal condition, 14 months under refrigerated condition.
It is almost same. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There is one question. Please explain sanitation.
Sanitation is nothing but cleaning, keeping the garden very clean. Rug out all the affected plants and water properly. Then cut the leaves or affected parts, properly dispose them. See, this comes, it's nothing but a cleaning. Keep the pots and give a healthy environment on the terrace.
Love your garden and keep it clean.
Correct. And I think this is also, many people always get confused about this mulch topic. So this, even mulch, when they spread the mulch in the January, February timeline, it's important to make sure your mulch does not have unnecessary insects and things like that. And similarly, when you, this is also one of the reasons why in monsoon time, especially in countries like India, avoid having mulch, because it will, add more environment for pests and fungal disease. So
no, this is specifically during the summer only. Yeah, just to keep the moisture, to retain the moisture.
Correct. This mulch question keeps coming up again and again. So it's good to keep.
It's a very good agronomic practice, madam. Actually, it is very much required. See, if you keep the mulch, in the summer, one is evaporation. You can reduce this. If any weed intensity, if any weeds problem is there, it will also be reduced. And it gives a favorable condition to biopesticides to multiply.
Correct.
Along with the moisture, so that it will luxuriant growth of biopesticides will be there, which will colonize and give the resistance to the plants.
Okay. One last question. And this is actually for Rajendra Hegde, sir. Can you please explain more about Ramban? So this is your Sasya Raksha.
No, see, the idea is that when we started promoting this terrace gardening concept, so in 2005, so especially for me, for Dr. Vishwanath, both of being entomologists, so we always used to get this question. And luckily, when I did an research project of Department of Biotechnology, Translational Research Center on Biological Pesticides or Botanical Pesticides, so the target given to me is to produce a kind of a formulation which can be used in all pest conditions, maybe for an insect, for a disease or something like that. So then we worked, we evaluated, we probably made extracts and did some experiments on different type of insects, at least with 100 botanicals of proven pesticidal property. Then we boiled down to 10. So developed a combination and made this that this should work against insect, this should work against a bacteria, this should work against a fungal pathogen, and of course when it works on the sucking pests, being a water extract, though it is a systemic pesticide. So being in this one formulation that it should work on a biting insect. So all these things that we thought, and probably we put up that idea, and when it probably protects your plant when you spray regularly, then we generally call it as Ramban, only for that purpose. Otherwise, idea is that for urbanites, that it should work on different type of insect pests and different type of plant pathogens.
I think we covered everything. Yeah.
If there are more questions, we will answer on YouTube.
We covered everything that has been asked in YouTube also, and here also.
Yes. Thank you, Meenakshi. I think, yeah, it was a good session, and Dr. Rajesh, you can conclude, boss.
Thank you, Dr. Rajendra Hegde, for giving me an excellent opportunity to speak with all garden lovers and your group members, because this is the first of in such kind of that presentation I am talking to you. Today I talked based on the feedback of our own Hubli, Dharwad and nearby farmers. Whatever we suggest them, they used to give us a good feedback about our biopesticides and other recommendations, and that has given me a confidence to talk with all you all and share my knowledge. Hopefully, this will give still increase my energy to talk in some other sessions. Thank you, everyone. Pramila madam, you are muted. You want to talk something?
Okay. 1 minute.
No, I'm fine.
Acha, Tanmay madam, namaste.
Hi.
Tanmay.
On this platform, yes.
Yeah. She, madam, Tanmay madam is my 1 year senior to me in the college. After a long time, maybe after 25 years, I'm seeing at her in this screen. Very nice to see you, Tanmay.
Today.
Yeah. And coincidentally, our birthdays falls on the same date. Only that is the date where we wish together. Good. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you very well.
Thank you. I think our YouTube connection is lost. Otherwise, that all our discussion will be on YouTube. I request all of you to probably sit on your video so that we can take a photograph. Meenakshi madam, Ritu madam, Pradeep sir, you are there?
Anil, can Anil take the photo?
Yeah, we will take. We will take. Madhav, Pradeep sir, thank you so much. I think you are there for the full session today. Meghnathan sir.
Thank you very much. Sir.
I am in very informal dress, sir. Banyan.
Thank you.
No problem. That also we want to take.
I'm also working in the garden and listening.
No problem. So I have also learned. My daughter taught me how to take the print screen. Otherwise, I was not knowing. Dr. Rajesh, you joined. So thank you so much for joining. And you can conclude.
It is fine, sir. It is fine now.
Yes. So you have closed the YouTube, no?
YouTube close my
Then we don't know. We were talking so many things.
It is live.
Oh God.
You can conclude and then close YouTube.
Okay. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yes, but for the career drop in the last part, I was fully engrossed in the presentation, and I'm sure all of you were like that. And for quite some time, I thought I was not sitting at home, but I was sitting in a class of MSc Agriculture in the US, Dharwad. It was so enriching, sir. I mean, we learned a lot that there's something called biopesticides, which are so easily makeable and usable at home. It was really wonderful. The presentation was superb, and the interaction to the questions and answers were also really, really good. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and enriching us with your rich knowledge, academic knowledge, taking it to the farm. Thank you so much, sir, from all of us at GCF and from the OTG. I thank all the organizing members who are here in Zoom, and I'm sure it was quite an enjoyable session. And the YouTube viewers, we had good viewership for this program also. As always, it happens to the programs. Thank you, viewers, for joining us and making this program a success. First-time viewers and viewers, if you have not already done so, kindly subscribe to this channel. You will be getting updates on happenings and activities which will be happening, not just these 25 Sundays. We'll have a lot more other activities happening in this channel. Kindly subscribe to get regular updates. Thank you all. Have a wonderful week ahead. Thanks.
Thank you, Rajesh, for your nice words. And thanks all the members of the OTG group and all other members for giving me this good platform to interact with all garden lovers and OTG group. Thank you once again for the opportunity, and I wish you all the success for a 25 webinar series of your dream of late Dr. Vishwanath sir. I am sure it will be a great success to all of you in the days to come. Thank you once again to all the viewers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Gurudatt. You are connected to so many gardeners across the country and probably across the globe. And hopefully that you will get many questions. And we also want the young juniors to take responsibility. And we will see that how that we will take it forward. Pradeep sir, you have anything to ask? Nimmur Hudgavano. Sir, idide, mute ide. ಹಾ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದು ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
We can stop the YouTube maybe.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, I will stop the streaming.
Yes, please. For under 2 minutes.
You've taken the screenshot.
Yes.
Tanmay madam is also